Hey guys, this is Odd One Gaming. This is going to be another Eternal Evolution video. So today the global launch for Eternal Evolution has happened. There's gonna be lots of people that will be starting to play this game, and you might be one of the ones watching this video right now. And what I'm going to talk about now is a little bit about the early game mistakes that you kind of want to avoid, and kind of what to focus on early on. I already had like a similar video on my channel and a collab with the Wi-Fi Video Gaming, but basically I want to mention some of the things because that's one of the first things that you kind of want when you start playing the game. What should you focus on? What are the characters? Stuff like that. So the first things first, obviously this is an idle RPG game, which makes it a really amazing side game in general. One of the first things that you will have is this patrol rewards. For example, I have it unlocked for 36 hours. Like this one can get up for 36 hours. However, this one changes based on your military ranking that you can see over here. So depending on what ranking you are, after you hit the level 5 it goes up to 36, but before that it stays somewhere at like 24 hours. So make sure you always collect that because that's a lot of free rewards. Next thing is the fast patrol. This one again gives you a little bit, quite a few rewards as well. The way that I personally do it is I only collect till 50, but later on as I noticed, I can keep going for more because that's a lot of resources. A lot of the soul rubelite, a lot of the catalyst core, a lot of XP, and a lot of gold. Gold you will never run out of in this game, but everything else, you might get to the point where you get stuck. So always try to collect this, and honestly, now thinking back on it, you should just collect all of them that you can with the gems that you have, with the diamonds. I might call them gems sometimes, so I apologize. Next thing that you need to focus and try not to skip daily is if you go into the base, you have this outpost. So basically this is, again, free rewards just by using your champions. When I have it like this, I usually reset it when I see a lot of gold because I've never got, to the point where like, oh my god, I don't have gold. So I always reset it when I see that there's too much gold at the top, and then boom. You get it like this, and just quick dispatch. Make sure you always get this one done. When you actually go to do it manually, if the quick dispatch is not open yet, you always have to choose or try to choose the highest level ones. For example, some might require you use epic ones. The high level ones use the better the rewards, the better bonuses actually. And this one keeps going up and up and up, and you get more and more rewards. I suggest to do this as one of the first things in the day, because this one can take, like you see here for me, 5 hours. So I would click that and then just move around, do my other stuff, and later start collecting them. Or sometimes, as you noticed, you can just collect them the next day like I did. So maybe collect just one of them for the sake of the missions, and then that's it. Another thing you always want to do is make sure you finish your missions up until you get the recruitment card. After that, nothing is mandatory here, because guess what? You don't get any extra reward. So if you've done all of the things that give you points here and you hit the 150 milestone, that's it. You stop. You don't care about anything else. If you're gonna randomly do it, you collect it. But look, if I collect this, it just gives me points. It doesn't give me any other reward. So why would I try and do more than the minimum required here? Another thing that's really important is the battle order. So even if you do not purchase the battle order that can give you some extra rewards in here, you still want to do the five things that require you to earn the rewards and get yourself again another recruitment card, which can help you more and more with fodder. But another reason why this is really important is this one gives you points towards your daily tasks, and gives you points towards the guild. Once you jump into the guild, if you go here to daily challenge, you have the daily challenge, and then you have the guild hunt. The more points you do in the battle order, the more points this one will gather up in your guild, so you can open the guild hunt. Now I do have it open, but normally this one's not open up until everybody hits a certain point to the points where we can actually open it, and this one can only be opened by the guild leader, if I remember correctly. I've never, I haven't been at the deputy to try this, but yeah, it has to be opened by someone, but first you need to gather the points by doing your battle order. Then what you have is obviously one of the important things is the Wasteland. The Wastelands is one of the easiest things in the game to do. It's honestly the first thing when you start the Wasteland is it gives you a mercenary in there that you can use. As you see, the first thing that I see over here is I click it, pick a team of mercenaries, and you choose from these ones. Usually on the first slot is kind of the strongest, and you just choose that one, you get yourself in one of the fights, and then for example I'm just gonna drop up this person, or actually yeah, just let me leave whoever and just bring this one. Basically why you want to do that is the mercenary that you will use does an insane amount of damage. Like they do some, even though look at this one's a tank, it does some crazy damage and it makes it easier and faster. Obviously you might just have the team yourself to beat it pretty easily, but maybe early on it might be a bit difficult. You might need to change some stuff around, but if you have that mercenary, it's always going to be extremely easy. One thing that you need to keep in mind with Wasteland, even though I have a dedicated video on this one, I'm going to post it in one of my, I'm going to post it either there or there as an end card at the end. One thing that you need to bear in mind is you don't have to beat all of the fights. You don't have to beat all of them because it's pretty easy. Also, you have this one at a certain point, you just click it and boom, straight up, you're over with it and move along. But what I mean with not having to do all the fights is you only care mostly about these chests, the treasure. Now I don't need to go back and beat this one over here because I already passed it, I move along. So you need to care about these ones give you resources, and just make sure you collect all of these resources. Normally if you forgot one of the treasures, when you try to click to go to the next level, it's gonna tell you, are you sure you want to go to the next level? So if you see that pop up, keep in mind because you need to go back. Then at the same time you have the dungeons after they open. These are the 3 dungeons, Disa Caves, Taradome and Sinsaro Marsh. These are the dungeons that you get 3 staminas for free daily. So you would just go in here, you would challenge it, and then go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, use all the 3 free ones. Try to always obviously do it on the highest stage that you can, because the better gear you get, the higher you advance into the game. And it's the same thing with the Taradomes, the same thing with Sinsaro Marsh. I'm gonna make some dedicated videos at a later stage on these dungeons and who are the heroes to use for this, what's better, the best commander maybe, and stuff like that. But do not forget to do these because they're really important. Another thing that can help you a lot with progression is the soul mine. So normally early on you might not have the faction ones open because obviously it requires a lot of resources, but the soul mine gives you a ton of resources. Like for example, if I beat this one, look, it says it gives me 100 diamonds. Let me move my big head away. 100 diamonds gives you some gold, some soul rubellite, and then some rare hero shards that can give you a rare hero. So definitely do this as much as you can. After a point, it's like, after you start working, it's not that crazy. You can just leave this and do it only once a week once you prove your characters. But early on, do as much as you can because you're going to get as many resources as you can. The progression in this game is pretty fast, even as a free-to-play, because they give you so many things for if you go to missions here, achievements, give you so many rewards, and the same thing for stage, give you so many rewards early on that you don't have to worry that you will run out of diamonds or run out of stuff. But do not buy absolutely everything that you see, especially gear. Early on, do not buy any gear. If you see that you get the shards for fodder, you can buy it. If you see the soul rubellite, you can buy it. Buy all the soul rubellites, all the recruitment cards and all the rare hero shards as you can, because that's going to help you progress as much as possible. After a certain point though, you can slowly stop buying the rare hero shards because they don't become as important and they might just cost too much. And I have a lot of diamonds because I've been saving recently, but if I would have bought everything daily, I would have been so low on diamonds that it would have been insane. So I'm going to make I'm going to make another video on what to actually buy from the shop, what's the best things to buy and the reason why. But yeah, early on, like I said, buy these. For the Wasteland, don't go too crazy on buying all of these ones because you need to focus on some certain heroes early on, and I'm gonna show you a few of them because it's you kind of don't want to invest your resources in somebody wrong, even though they have an amazing thing here. If you go to evolve, you can go to the reset and you can just click like this and boom, you get back all the XP, all the soul potions, like all the gear back from what you invested in this person. So keep that in mind, and obviously you're gonna get all the copies. Actually, not all the copies. You're not gonna get the copies as soon as you invested. Sorry, as soon as you invested your copies, you see, it just gives me back my my hero over here with the same level that I already got him. So if you invest too many heroes, too much fodder, or like dupes of the wrong ones, you might regret it early on. But let me just show you a few of the ones that you want to keep in mind. And let me specify like this. When it comes to the triple S ones, you only want to focus one of them at a time. One of them at a time. And the top ones are Bailey Hudson, Masurani, because he's the best healer in the game. Then there's Luke. Let me see where my Luke is. Luke is, Emma first. Emma, she's an amazing single target damage dealer. My account looks a bit different because I waited too much. I didn't get the ones that I wanted, but yeah. So like I said, Bailey, Masurani, Emma, Luke, and then Creed, for example. These are the most important ones that you want to keep in mind, but only level up one of them at a time. Don't go crazy trying to give levels in every single one. Your goal should be trying to get your first one to Immortal. As soon as you hit Immortal, like mine's Immortal 1 right now because I got some extra copies, as soon as you get your first SSS to Immortal, stop and start focusing on the next one. When it comes to the other ones, to the ones that are, you know, the epics that are not SSS, some of the good ones are Taylor. He's an amazing DPS. Taylor is basically like a legendary in disguise. Legendary, a triple S in disguise. He's one of the best damage dealers. And then there's Serena. Serena is the best single target healer in the game. So up until you get Masrani, Serena's gonna carry you everywhere. She's so good, she's gonna carry you everywhere. Another one that could be good investing in early on is Sorietta, because you get a few copies again. Sorietta can do some decent damage, can do some stun, has multi-hitter for the sake of Dessa Caves. That's another one to keep in mind. Murfiro can be good. It's just like, you know, you're gonna follow along, you're gonna see some of the ones that you might be given early on and you'll be like, okay, these are good. Some of the ones that are traps and you don't want to go too crazy on them unless you get free copies are Omar and where's my Ornn? And Ornn. Like, Ornns are decent AoE damage dealers for early on, but after that they keep falling out, you know. So if you can choose to invest in somebody else, definitely do that and avoid to hit those traps. But again, maybe I'm gonna make another video when I'm gonna show a tier list of like who's the best, who's the worst, what to focus on, why to do that, you know. When it comes to the tanks, one of the best tanks to start focusing on is either Oak, if you get an Oak, or Hercules is another good one. I don't have too much invested in him because Oak carried me everywhere. Obviously up until you get to the SSS and you start investing into Creed. But if you get, for example, you might be polling, the first one they gave you might be Langle. That one's pretty bad. Langle is one of the worst tanks. So I wouldn't invest too much in him. Same for Kuita. So don't really try to invest as little as you can in those. Like I said, tanks you want Oak, Hercules, or even Boar. Boar you can make an argument for Boar as well because where's my Boar? Where's my Boar? There he is. Boar can be really good as well because he has some stun in his kit, he has some decent survivability, and he doesn't fall out in the end game. So, you know, it's not a bad idea to invest into him. Now, let's talk about the recruitment. So, the recruitment, you should not just keep blasting, unless you're a spender. If you're a spender, you keep buying them, just, you know, blast away, pull them away as much as you can. But when it comes to recruitment, especially the limited ones, save them for the first 3 weeks, because on week number 3 you get a double data chip over here that's gonna pop up, and basically means for every single limited, just limited not advanced, for every single limited recruitment that you do, it doesn't matter which banner, like usually there might be like 2 banners going on, so doesn't matter which banner, but for every single limited recruitment that you do, every single recruitment card that you use, you get double of these chips. And basically what does this mean is, like, look at this, I have 296 in Cypher data chips. I can buy gene hybrids, which is definitely mandatory. As soon as if you have the points, always try to save up to buy this one, and then you can choose to buy some of the heroes from here. But early on, you're only gonna buy the data chips. But like I said, save your limited ones for week 3, and at the same time, I would say save the advanced one as well, because the best time to summon is when there is a recruitment event going on. Currently, we do not have one, but the recruitment event comes around like once, it's every 2 weeks. So on week 3, you should have the recruitment event popping at the same time, or it might be just like on the last day, you still have recruitment and you still have the extra data chip. So keep that in mind when you summon. Also, after you get past that point, always try to save up so you have a total of 900 limited plus advanced recruitment cards. I know it's annoying, I know it might be hard, you'll be like, oh, but I want to pull, I want to progress more. I know what you mean, but the best way to summon is waiting for 900, because you get a ton of amazing rewards from the recruitment event that I just mentioned. If you just pull along, you're gonna lose on resources. Usually the way that it starts is up until 500. You get 2 epics along the way and you get an SSS at 500. However, if you pull the 900, so basically another 400, you're gonna get some other amazing rewards plus a gene hybrid. Gene hybrid is the thing that you can use here as a copy for your SSS. So for example, I have Bailey Hudson, I could use, boom, double gene hybrids to get him the next stage. I'm not gonna do that, definitely not gonna do that because he's already immortal. But this one comes as a copy of anyone that you want. Never use these copies on non-SSS champions. Trust me, you're gonna thank me later. Always keep these ones for SSS ones. When it comes to the gear, do not invest. For example, gear, let me just go here. Okay, so when it comes to the gear, do not invest too much in the purple one or in the blue one. Just start, I mean, you might level it up a bit for the sake of, you know, it gives you a quest or whatever, but do not do that. Do not waste on the, let me see, what is it? It's Forge. So they are called, first one are called, so we have Rare, then we have Elite, Epic, Mythic, and Legendary. So basically the ones that you want to invest most, early on you want to invest a little bit in the Epics, you can only roll them till 8 and it is what it is. But the ones that you care mostly about is the Mythic and Legendary. Like I said, you progress so fast in the game in the first few days that it's a waste to just invest your resources in these ones too much. However, all those resources will go you can use the piece that you invested in to forge into another piece. So for example, let's say I maxed out an elite piece of gear. I can just use that elite piece of gear and gives me the exact same amount of, you know, of these metalize that I used into the next piece of gear. So don't go too crazy because early on you might not have as much as I have. Like I have a ton of metalize right now, but later on, like the more you progress, the more you're gonna get. But early on, you're gonna be really stuck. You're not gonna have too much. You're gonna try to invest this in the right pieces, or just, you know, keep swapping the pieces. But that's, you know, that's not too smart to do because you're gonna be stuck. Like, oh, I want to use this, I want to use on that. So save it for the right things. Another thing, obviously, do not forget to do your daily guild boss challenge. Like I mentioned, obviously you can open the guild hunt as well, but the daily challenge is again free. You get lots of resources and you get materials. You get equipment that you can use as upgrades for your forging equipment. But yeah, I think this is it. Like I said, there's lots of things to keep in mind. There's lots of mistakes to avoid. Basically, are the ones about recruitment, the ones about gear, the ones about what to focus on daily, and obviously try to progress in the story challenge as much as you can, because the more you progress, the better rewards you get from the fast patrol and the better rewards you get from over here. One little thing that you might want to keep in mind, you might know this from other games, but sometimes it might just be better to do this on manual. You know, after you get to a certain point, everything goes on auto, they do whatever they want, but sometimes you might just want to click here on auto, like for example, stop Bailey Hudson, for example, for me from using his ultimate whenever he wants, because he might be using the ultimate on the wrong one. So you can just wait for him. When you see that he gets to do his ultimate, you'll be like, okay, he's gonna have the ultimate, where do I use it? He might just use it on this one. See, it's away. So I wouldn't use it. I would try to do like this. See, you can connect and try to kill the back row ones, as an example. Or for example, for the healer, you might want to be like, okay, let me not use his heal yet because nobody's there yet. Or if you have a res, you want to focus res on the right one. But yeah, that's just a little bit of advice that might help you to progress more in the early game. But yeah, this is gonna be for the video today, guys. If you do have any questions, please leave it in the comment below, or you know, I might be making a video on some of the questions that you have. That's like the best way to do it. You know, if you're stuck on something, be like, okay, I see 10 people saying like, okay, I don't know how to progress in a dungeon, then I know that I will prioritize that video for the sake of my channel. But yeah, this was a long video, but thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'm gonna see you all in the next one. Peace, love, take care everyone. Bye guys.